You have your account set up, you've played around a little bit in the AI tools. Now comes the skill that will determine whether AI becomes genuinely useful for you or remains a frustrating novelty. Prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is simply the practice of structuring your request to AI systems in ways that produce useful results. It's not about magic words or secret tricks, it's about clear communication. Something you already know how to do with humans, apply to a new kind of collaborator. In this lecture, I'm going to teach you a simple framework that works across all the major AI tools. It has three components: persona, context, and goal. Master these three elements, and you'll get dramatically better results from any AI assistant. Let's start with persona. When you assign a persona to an AI, you're telling it what perspective to adopt. This shapes the tone, vocabulary, depth of expertise, and framing of the response. Here's a simple example. Imagine you want to understand blockchain technology. You could just ask, "Explain blockchain." You'd get a reasonable answer. But watch what happens when you add a persona. You are a computer science professor. Explain blockchain. You'll get a technically precise explanation with proper terminology. You are a financial advisor explaining to a client who's never invested in crypto. Explain blockchain. You'll get a practical, jargon-free explanation focused on what matters for investment decisions. You are a skeptical journalist investigating blockchain hype. Explain blockchain. You'll get a more critical perspective that highlights limitations and controversies. Same question, three very different, and all useful responses. The persona acts as a lens that shapes how the AI approaches your request. Now, a word of nuance here. Research on persona prompting shows mixed results. A simple act as an expert doesn't always improve accuracy on factual questions. Where persona really shines is in shaping tone, style, and perspective. Use them when you need a specific voice or viewpoint, not as a substitute for asking clear questions. Now, let's move to context. Context is the background information the AI needs to give you a relevant response. Unlike humans, who can draw on shared cultural knowledge and ask clarifying questions naturally, AI works with what you give it. The more relevant context you provide, the more tailored and useful the output. Let me show you the difference context makes. Here's a weak prompt. Write a marketing email. Here's the same request with context. Write a marketing email for our B2B software company. We sell project management tools to mid-sized construction firms. The email should announce our new mobile app feature that lets site managers approve timesheets from their phones. Our tone is professional but friendly. We avoid corporate jargon. The audience is operations managers who are frustrated with paperwork delays. The first prompt might give you a generic template. The second will give you something you might actually use, because the AI understands your business, your audience, your product, and your voice. What kinds of context should you include? It depends on the task, but consider: who is the audience, their expertise level, their concerns, their relationship to you? What's the situation, the business context, the problem you're solving, constraints you're working with? What's your style? Formal or casual? Technical or accessible? Brief or comprehensive? What have you already tried? If you're iterating, tell the AI what didn't work and why. You can also provide context by attaching documents. Most AI tools now let you upload files, reports, data, previous drafts that the AI can reference. This is powerful for tasks like summarizing documents, analyzing data, or building on existing work. A word of advice: be thoughtful about what documents you upload. We have spoken about this in previous lectures. Remember our earlier discussions about data handling. Don't upload confidential information to tools that haven't been approved for that use. Now let's talk about goal. The goal is what you actually want AI to produce. This sounds obvious, but vague goals provide vague outputs. Specific goals produce specific, useful outputs. Here's a weak goal: help me with my presentation. Here's a strong goal: create an outline for a 15-minute presentation with 5 main sections. Each section should have a key message and 2-3 supporting points. The presentation should build to a clear call to action. Notice how the strong goal specifies the format, an outline, the scope, 15 minutes, 5 sections, the structure, key messages with supporting points, and the outcome, a call to action. When defining your goal, consider specifying the following: the format. Do you want a list, a narrative, a table, bullet points, a script? The length. How long or short should the output be? The structure. Should it follow a particular framework or include specific sections? The action. What should someone be able to do with this output? Now let me show you how persona, context, and goal work together. Here's a complete prompt using all 3 elements. Persona. You are an experienced HR consultant who specializes in employee engagement. Context. I'm the head of HR at a 200-person manufacturing company. We've seen a spike in turnover among our production floor workers over the past 6 months, up from 15% annually to 25%. Exit interviews suggest dissatisfaction with scheduling flexibility and career development opportunities. Our competitors in the region are offering similar pay. Goal. Suggest 5 specific, actionable initiatives we could implement within the next quarter to address retention, focusing on non-compensation factors. For each initiative, briefly explain the expected impact and the implementation complexity. Now compare that to just asking, how do I reduce employee turnover? The structure prompt will give you targeted, relevant, actionable advice. The vague prompt will give you generic suggestions you could find in any HR textbook. A few final tips before we wrap up. First, you don't always need all 3 elements. For simple questions, a clear goal might be enough. Use the framework when you need quality output, not for every interaction. Second, iterate. Your first prompt rarely produces perfect results. Treat it as a starting point. Ask follow-up questions. Say, make it shorter, or focus more on X, or give me an alternative approach. AI conversations are iterative by design. Third, save prompts that work. When you develop a prompt structure that produces good results for a recurring task, save it as a template. Build a personal library of effective prompts you can reuse and refine. Fourth, be specific about what you don't want. If there's a common mistake the AI makes, tell it explicitly. Don't include generic platitudes or avoid bullet points. Write in flowing paragraphs can meaningfully shape the output. That's the persona context goal framework. In the next lecture, we'll go deeper into 2 additional techniques, using examples to guide AI output and the iterative refinement process that turns good first drafts into excellent final results. But don't just listen to me talk about this. Practice it. After this lecture, open up your preferred AI tool and try the framework. Take a real task you're working on, structure a prompt using persona, context, and goal, and see the difference it makes.